All right. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody as well as your business?
My name is Rue from San Diego. I just started my own cleaning company in March of 2023. The name of the company is One Touch Cleaners.
Excellent. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? Give us a little bit on your background.
I'm Afghan. Parents are from Afghanistan. I was born in Pakistan in '94. I was there for about a year. And then my parents moved to Kyrgyzstan, which is a country south of Russia. So I used to be fluent in Russian. We were there for 6 years. My dad, he was an entrepreneur. He had his own business. He was selling mink coats in Kyrgyzstan. He used to import them from China and sell them there. My mom there, she worked for the Red Cross, and she's the one that got us to immigrate to San Diego, California in 2003.
Wow. So you've had worldwide experience since you were a little kid then.
Yes, so been traveling a lot, and then once we came to San Diego, never left ever since.
And when did you guys emigrate to San Diego?
We came in 2003. So the
Okay.
reason my parents were in Afghanistan, we left because of the war. So we went to Pakistan. It was a little more peaceful, but still, my parents wanted us to get a better education, better opportunities. So we went to Kyrgyzstan. But even there, my mom wanted us to come to US, get the best education. She was a doctor in Afghanistan, and my dad was a pharmacist. So going through all those hardships, the war just messed everything up. They wanted us to come to US, and she came, and her degree didn't really count in US. She had to start all over again. So she went back to school to get her bachelor's, even though she went to finish med school in Afghanistan. And my dad, he was working at Arco AMPM, even though he's a pharmacist in back home, and he had a business owner in Kyrgyzstan. Coming to San Diego, we had to restart everything again.
It must have been super tough, but I mean, your parents are resilient. They got you out of war to another country and then completely across the world. So if
Yes,
those baby steps there, I mean, not even baby steps; those are huge steps. Once you guys were here, I mean, it is tough, mentally thinking about restarting your whole career, especially with kids. But that big leap getting you guys to safety was, I'm sure, their number one priority. So restarting something might have been a little bit lower on their list of worries. So
it was challenging, especially me coming to San Diego, not speaking no English. I came in as a third grader. I used to speak fluent Russian and Farsi, which is my native language. So when I was in math class, I saw the numbers, I could solve it, but I couldn't really communicate. So that was pretty challenging in the beginning. It took a few years to get used to it and start picking up the language. And then my dad, he didn't speak no English either, so he was working graveyard shifts at Arco AMPM while my mom was studying again to be where she was back home.
and your mom knew English a little bit, or
She
didn't?
spoke no, so my mom, she spoke English, but she used to work for the Red Cross back in Kyrgyzstan. So she spoke a little English. My dad no English at all. I didn't speak no English. My older brother, he spoke a little English as well. Um, but yeah, that was. I mean, we came here in '03. I had to third grade, and then I finished high school. I went to San Diego State University. Got my degree in finance in 2017.
Wonderful. So, what were some of your favorite things to do as a kid growing up?
I like to play soccer in Russia, in Kyrgyzstan. I play soccer all the time. We used to go outside with my older brother. So we used to live in one of those high rises, and then it's a lot of communities there. We used to play on the rocks, soccer every night, 6 to 7 p.m. Growing up, where once I got a little older, I like to travel. I've been to like 25 countries
My
across
gosh.
Europe, Eastern Europe, mostly Europe. And some other hobbies that I like to do growing up was to play volleyball, especially in San Diego. Now they're kind of coastal. I play some beach volleyball sometimes. Growing up in high school, I played volleyball. Middle school, I played soccer and volleyball. Always been into sports.
And did you play sports in at San Diego State as well? Like, I mean,
No, no, I don't have the height. I don't really jump that much, so kind of gave it up once I went to college.
okay, so just some intramural stuff or just hanging out with friends on the weekends.
Yeah, I mean, I played. It was varsity in high school, but then in college, I got really competitive, and I I didn't have the height. I was 5'7". I couldn't really jump that high. So
Yeah, a little challenging for volleyball.
yeah, no, I mean, it was really competitive at San Diego State.
Awesome. When you were younger, did you know what you wanted to be when you were older?
Um, Growing up, I always wanted to be a pilot. I was fascinated about the NASA astronaut, so pilot astronaut to go to space.
Okay.
And then as I got a little older, I was fascinated by money. My dad was like, an entrepreneur, businessman, and he always, I mean, he like following his steps. He's always been about making a lot of money, investments. So me, once I turned 18, I um, I was working valet, and I opened my first E-Trade account. So I started messing with penny stocks. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I wanted to. I know all the rich they invested money in the market, so I wanted to follow those steps. It was trial and error. I lost a lot of money, but I never gave up. So as I worked valet, making my tips, I put that money into E-Trade, buying random penny stocks, and just trying to learn how people make money trading stocks.
I I mean, we have similar stories. I worked for two ballet companies growing up in like high school and in the college, so I know those long nights and just you get your rushes right when you're doing it. If you're doing an event, especially, you get the start when everybody's coming in,
Yep.
and then during the whole event, you're basically kind of sitting around on your phone or talking with your coworkers, and then at the end when everybody's leaving, again a rush,
Yep.
and then you're done and you go home. So I guess that time gives you, or that downtime gives you the ability to research those stocks and figure out what you wanted to do.
Yeah. So I mean, I used to work at a restaurant, so my shifts were evening shifts from like 5 to like 2 in the morning in downtown. It was a steakhouse. So I mean, yeah, it was good money. People checked in when they came to the restaurant, and then when they left around like towards the end, we were kind of busy. And then cause I was in college as well, so I had the class the next morning at 8 in the morning. That's when the market opened in San Diego. At least it's around 6:30. So like on my like on my drive to the class, I was like on my phone looking at charts, seeing what to trade before class, and then like most of the time in class, I was like focused on the market. So a little distracted.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially, I mean, back then, like $2,000 was a lot of money. Like when I was playing, trading like $1,000, $2,000 trades, and back then it was a lot of money. So I was kind of too focused on that instead of paying attention in class.
Absolutely. And did your grades suffer at all from not paying attention or
My grades actually throughout college was pretty good. I finished with a 3.5. Like growing up, being Middle Eastern, my parents always were on our back to make sure we have 4.0s, like perfect A's. Like my mom wanted us to be doctors, like engineers. My dad was kind of more lenient, but my mom was like, go to school, good grades. Like she kept up with us, make sure we're doing well in school, tutoring and everything. So I had no other choice but to get A's, A's and B's.
I come from Eastern European parents and I'm first generation born in the States, so I know I feel like that's a huge thing is you
Yeah.
come home right after school and they're like, bust out your backpack, what do you
Yep.
have? Let me see, tests, quizzes, grades, everything like that. And then it was like 30 minutes before dinner, you can, play video games or mess around
Yep.
outside, whatever. Dinner time, that's family. And then after that, straight into schoolwork and 100% into that until bedtime and then do it all over again. So my next question, which you kind of already touched a little bit on, anybody in your family a business owner, and you said your dad's an entrepreneur. Give us talk to us a little bit more about his story and his
Yeah.
entrepreneurship.
So my dad has always been business minded. He was a pharmacist in Afghanistan, and then once we went to Kyrgyzstan, um, he started his own. He used to sell mink coats. So he used to get it from China, Sell. He had a, they used to call containers. You rent space, and then he used to do that. And then he started working for a cigarette company called Pine. And he was a partner there, passing out dealing with the marketing and all that. And then coming here to San Diego, kind of left everything back home. So not speaking English, he bought a taxi medallion after working for a few years, and that was a good investment until the Uber became a thing, and that investment kind of went down the hole. But he's been always entrepreneurial, but now he's works for Uber and Lyft. But I get my entrepreneur drive from mostly from him because he's been always about investments, businesses. But now he's kind of obviously a little more aged, so he's on the safer side, not taking as much risk as he used to.
Absolutely. And when he was selling the mink coats, how long was he doing that for?
So we were in Kyrgyzstan for 6 years, from '96 to '03, and all those years, I believe in the beginning after we settled in, he got into that for 6 years.
And he had success with it because I'm
He
sure.
was Yes, he was doing well in in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, and then we came here, so he had to give up all that. And towards the end of before we left, the economy went to bad in that area, so we left at a great time.
Okay. And then let's talk about your experience, your background. I know you said you went to San Diego State. Let's tell us more about your experience during college and
Sure.
all that.
So I after high school I went to San Diego State. I went to community college first for 2 years, and then I transferred to San Diego State. My time there, finance. I mean, the classes were kind of easy because I was dealing with investments all the time. I had my own trade account, and I've always my goal was to I have to make it trading stocks. This is what I want to do. There's no boss. I like my time freedom. Learn how to manage risk. Learn how to read charts. Place good trades, manage risk, and try to make. Because I see other people do it. I'm big on Twitter, and I follow a bunch of successful traders, and these guys are making a lot of money. I was like, these if they can do it, I can do it. As long as I put the time and effort, I can do it. So fast forward 2017, I'm finally seeing some success, but still like a roller coaster. Like there's days where you make good money, but then you lose it. It was not no consistency. After college was done, I worked at LPL Financial as it was a contract position as a business transition specialist. Again, doing that, saving up, trading. And then I was a TD Ameritrade where I got my Series 7, 63, and the FINRA licenses. Again, saving up, trading. And then I left that job in 2019 to get my real estate license. This is pre-COVID. So then my mom had some money saved up, so she gave it to me. She's like, "Hey, you know what? Can you go try to make something happen?" So I started doing auctions. Me and my auntie's husband, we went to auctions up north in Sacramento and bought these properties cash, remodeled them, and flipped them. Did a few, made about 10-15% in 3 months, which is pretty good returns. And then towards COVID, the market kind of crashed. The auction stopped, and the stock market crashed. And me seeing that, I'm like, this is a great opportunity. Like the crash that happened in March 2020, I thought it was again 2008 again. So I thought you buy the dip. So instead of using that cash to buy real estate, it was a good amount of cash. I put that into the market, and I was messing with pretty risky stuff, leverage ETFs, which basically when the S&P moves up 1%, the leverage ETF moves up 3%, vice versa. If it goes down 10%, it goes down 30%. And I started buying the dip too early. Long story short, by end of March when the market bottomed, I was down 200,000 of my parents' money, and they had no idea. So I'm stressing. How do I explain this to my mom? She gave me this money to buy real estate, and I'm here investing in leverage ETFs. So luckily, I sold everything for a big loss, and I put it into futures, which is even more leveraged. But luckily, I got saved. The market bounced. That was the bottom, and the market bounced up. So to make it even shorter, I made a lot of money after that bounce, but then I got too cocky, started betting big, and then I kind of lost it. And then in 2021, when the market was just going up every day, I had a big account to play with, and I made more than seven figures from trading stocks. And then I got a little too cocky. I was 2022 happened when the market crashed, and then I was down. I lost all the money I made in 2021 and 2020. I got wiped out. So I lost 1.7 million in 2022. Humbled me really quick. I went through depression. It was sad because I was here, and then I went down in a year. I hit the floor. Lost everything I had. Um, and I was living a really nice lifestyle. I mean, making a lot of money at a very young age. And then in 2022, the market just went straight down, and I learned a pretty big lesson.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a lot to take in. That's incredible what you've been through. And you know, surviving the depression and the downfalls that you've encountered, and being here today as a successful business owner should just show you how strong and resilient you are, and that anything is possible. um, I've been there. I know so many people who have been there, and it takes a lot to bounce back, and I'm sure you have a massive group of supporters, whether it's, direct family members or friends who are like family. It takes a village to come together and, help somebody out. uh, but with it seemed like every year you were at the top, and then the next year it was like a roller coaster in every sense of the way, uh, where you came back down. And where when you were trading, was it only those that ETF?
Um, so I mean, once I manage a big account, like the real money is futures, which is basically the most leveraged instrument you can trade. So I went from trading ETFs to trading futures, and that's how I made like seven figures pretty quickly. Like in 2021 March, the first 3 months of 2021, I actually made seven figures in 3 months, and that was from taking a lot of leverage, a lot of risk with big size. But the market was going my way, so it worked out. And then once the market turned, I got kind of too biased, and I was playing with heavy size, so I was wrong, and then I was down like $500,000 in one day. That's how much size I was like, actually trading. So then that kind of messed me up mentally. And then you get to a point where it's like you want to revenge trade, you want to make that loss back. So you want to get back to where it was, and then you start. If you're wrong, if you're not careful, like what you do is like you buy more. Hopefully, you get a small bounce to just get out. But sometimes that bounce never comes. So you keep digging yourself in a bigger hole. That's what happened with me. But
Okay.
it was tough. Yeah, I mean, it was 2022 for me was really hard because I was used to this lifestyle where I was like partying, making all this money easily, and then everything was wiped out within like months. So then I had to go back to a regular job, 9 to 5, which is fine, but wasn't used to that. I haven't done that so long. It's kind of humbling to be back where I was before.
I'm sure. And are you still trading in the market now?
So I took a break. No, I had to reset real quick because my mental health wasn't the best. Like when you lose that much money, like all you want to do is like, what's the best way, the fastest way to make this back? And that's the wrong way to think about it. You have to take slow steps. And I started playing with options, which is even more degen. So
I've been there. I've been there. I
yeah,
know exactly what you mean. I've been there.
yes. So I zoomed out. I was like, what am I doing? Like, what? Why am I even trading like lotteries, lottos and options? Like, this is like not my style. I was like, let me reset. Let me build something sustainable. That's why I actually got into this business. Something that I can control. And let me build something first, and then if I do want to decide to pursue trading again, I will do it down the road.
Right. Have something cash flowing for you now, and
Exactly.
then that way you're not worried if potentially that happens again. Where
Exactly. Yes.
if you did put money in and it did happen, you're not stressed because you still have cash flow coming
Income
in.
coming in.
So let's go towards the business a little bit. When did you start the business?
I so the idea I had in my head to start a cleaning business was in December 2022.
Okay.
I didn't want to start because of tax purposes, but then I filed for the LLC in January. Got everything set up. Took a while. I was taking my time. The website and everything was set up in February, but I didn't turn my marketing until March.
Okay. So idea December of last year,
Mhm.
put it together in January, paperwork and all. February you worked on your
So
website and
yeah,
back
so
end.
January, February, I was like paperwork, getting everything set up. Actually, launching the business was March.
March. Okay. And then first booking was March.
First booking was March. Yep. Same client. He's actually my recurring client every 2 weeks. I was
Excellent.
like, yeah, first
Love
month.
to hear that, especially as a first your first client
Yep.
who's with you still. I mean, that's beautiful. So why did you want to start your business?
Uh,
Is it
yeah.
because of what we just kind of talked about?
So like I get big on Twitter. I've seen a lot of people tweet about cleaning companies. Specifically, I think it was Jordan that he was like tweeting how his day one, I filed LLC. Day two, I did this. Day three, I did this. So he went step by step on how to create a business. And if it doesn't get easier than that, then it's on me. I was like, you know what? Let me just follow this. Like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm in a bad spot. I need to create something. This guy is telling me what to do step by step. So that was when I got the idea. When I thought about it, I was like, low competition, mom and pop shops that don't know how to run a business. They clean well, right? But they don't know how to run a business. They don't have a website. They don't know how to scale. I was like, I mean, I do have a degree in finance. I kind of have a business background. I can handle operations. This is my competition is pretty low, and my mom is always complaining about cleaners. Like she never can find a good cleaner. So I was like, let me try it. It's a low upfront cost to start a business. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Right. And so how much did you invest in the business when you first started?
It was less than 1,000. Some of the fixed costs was open phone, which is 17 a month. Booking Koala, 57 a month. I mean, my recurring expenses are maybe 200 a month, 250. Um, and then the LLC, two, 300 bucks for the LLC. Yeah, I mean, I would say less than 1,000 bucks to get everything rolling.
Okay. And did you start with Booking Koala from the start, or were you looking at other softwares? Did you try other softwares too, or were we, the
Yeah.
first one and you kind of stuck?
No, I mean, I love Booking Koala. That was the first one I actually got into. A lot of people on Twitter that run a cleaning company, they all use Booking Koala and talk highly about it. So, and Jordan, who is the one that I actually followed step by step, he mentioned Booking Koala as well. So I got started off right off the bat with Booking
Awesome.
Koala.
And how much revenue have you done since you first started?
55,000 revenue
55 in
in 4 months.
4 months. Wow.
Yep.
That's
Last month we did 21,500
21,000 in 1 month.
in the month of June. Yep. I cannot believe it because I remember a lot of people showing screenshots of like the third month, they 10,000. I was like fascinated. I was like, I hope I can get to that level. And fast forward 4 months later, it's like it's doable.
You doubled it.
Yeah.
You
My
doubled
my,
it.
my March was sorry, my May was 11,000, and then June I doubled.
That's incredible. What would you attribute that to? What do you think? Did you increase
Um,
your marketing?
my I yeah, so I did increase my marketing budget a bit, um, but just having that streamline everything in order. And San Diego is a big market. Getting good reviews, 5-star reviews, making sure the clients are happy. My biggest thing is client satisfaction. Sometimes they're even though they're wrong, I go out of my way to make sure they're happy. Because some clients complain about anything, the smallest thing. So I tried to, give them a small refund to make up for it, or send the cleaner again to fix whatever the issue was, or give them a discount on the next clean.
Sure. And are you running the employee model or independent contractor?
So far, I mean, to get everything going, I was doing independent contractors, but now I'm getting to a point where I should maybe switch to an employee. But right now, so far, it's all independent contractors.
And I know with, everything going on in California, it's super tough to get a business set up as with independent contractors. Did you find that tough as well, or the people you're following, did they help you get through that?
Um, I, I mean, no, I know there's like certain laws, some things that you can't employees and contractors. Yeah, as long as you know the differences. Like for example, independent contractor can't wear a shirt of your company. An employee can. But what I learned is if you give them a shirt saying your company, but it's saying contractor for, it's like on the shirt it says contractor for One Touch Cleaners. That they can wear.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
And
actually got a box right here. I bought some shirts for my cleaners because I want to make it look professional. Right
right,
now, usually they go in wearing whatever they want, which is fine. But I kind of want to improve the image of the company.
sure. And how many contractors do you have?
So I in June I had four, and unfortunately one of them I had to let go. Well, one of them quit in end of June, and I had to let one go end of June. So I was down to two. So this month I was kind of like having issues with that, but I'm back to four now. I hired two more this month.
So you did 55,000 in 4 months, catering between two and four cleaners.
Yes.
And how were their schedules like during the week? Were they fully? I can imagine that
Yes.
most of them were fully booked.
So I have one cleaner. Her name is Sang. She is available 7 days a week, any time of the day. And then I have another one. Her name is Myra. So she has helpers. She has two helpers, so a total of three, and they can knock out 2 to 3 jobs a day, 5 days a week, and they actually do a really good job. So um, those are my two main ones, and then I had one or two more that can do a few jobs throughout the week. But I fill up their schedule. Like I mean, with Myra, she does. I mean, she used to do 3 jobs a day, but I had to cut it down because it was like sometimes we were running late, and we had a few issues with scheduling. Um, so now, yeah, now I hired a few more. It's one with a helper, and then actually there's two cleaners. They both have helpers, so two people.
Okay. And you're mainly in San Diego, or are you in other parts of California as well?
I'm in just in San Diego for now. I'm still short staffed. It's the hardest part in this business for me is finding good cleaners because I charge a premium price, so I have to make sure they do a quality clean to make it worthwhile.
100%. What's your average customer's home look like? Is it apartments, condos, houses?
So in San Diego, it's a combination of both. There's a lot of high rises in downtown, so we do get a lot of apartments, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, less than 1,000 square feet. And then if you go up a little north, you get the nice big houses, 4,000 square feet, 3,000 square feet, mansions. It's a combination of both. I would say 40% apartments, condos, and then 60% single family houses.
So a nice little mixture there. Let's go into your hiring funnel. What are your best practices? What are some
Mhm.
things that you do super well, and then what are some things that you've tried and didn't work so well?
Yeah. Hiring in this business, again, the hardest thing for me. I tried Indeed. With Indeed, I mean, write the job description, exactly what I'm looking for. I get a lot of applications, but I go through maybe 100. You might find one or two that are actually, experienced, that do a good job. Most of them that apply, they don't have experience. There's like a few that apply that have housekeeping, hotel experience. That's different. But my requirement is to find someone that actually has residential house cleaning paid experience. Out of 100 applications, maybe one or two, sometimes three. So it's been really rough. And then you do a test clean. So indeed, do a phone interview if you have experience, and then schedule like a test clean. So I usually use my personal house. I don't tell them when they come here; they don't know it's me. And then if they do a decent job, I mean, they have to do a good job. If they miss a few too many spots, I don't hire them. If it's like small things, that's fine. I just let them know and train them. But if it's like a lot of big misses, I don't move forward with them.
And then
Um,
after your test clean, are there any other steps that you're doing?
so after the test clean, I meet with them in person again. Oh, before that, there's no meeting. So I do hiring on the phone. Test clean. If they do well, then I meet them in person. We sign the W-9 contractor agreement. Uh, I invite them to book in Koala. I gave them some paperwork that goes over how to clear your schedule, how to connect your bank account. Um, yeah, so once they do all that, and then I know their schedule, I assign them jobs. And if they get too many complaints from the client, I try to address it to them in the beginning. One or two, I'm okay with. But if it gets to a point where it's like constant complaints, negative feedback, then I have to let them go because my company's at risk.
Right. And at what point in the hiring process are you running the background check?
Uh,
Beginning,
so
middle,
after,
or end?
when I sign the contract agreement, I do the background check as well.
Okay, so right around the end. All right. Um, Going towards, I guess, with the contractors, do you like to stay within a certain area for their driving? Um, or does that not really matter if they have reliable transportation?
So San Diego's big. From downtown, I try to limit 20 to 25 miles north. So, but every job I give them, they're not, as being a contractor, you don't have to take it. You have the option whether to choose, accept or deny it. So if they take a job and it's really far, I try to give them gas money, even though I don't have to. Excuse me. But it's maybe rare. 1 out of 10 jobs or 1 out of 20 jobs, they have to drive like 20 to 30 minutes. But I do have a few clients that have a really nice house, big houses, but they're kind of far, and they
Okay.
are recurring clients that we need every 2 weeks. So I try to like adjust the pay. Because some I pay them like percentage, some I pay hourly. So if they have to drive a little far, then I have to adjust the pay a little bit to make sure, I want them to be happy and make good money. Because if they spend all their money on gas, then it's not really worth it.
Right. Do you have any horror stories with any of your uh, contractors, or is it still a little too early in the game for that?
No, I mean so my first contractor, she actually worked my first one I actually hired, cleaned really well. And then she got in a car accident. So she was not able to clean. And then her communication just went bad. Like we scheduled her, we scheduled her for cleaning. I confirmed the day before, I confirmed the same day, and then she doesn't show up. Yeah, that was a horror story. I just did dealing with that, angry clients. And then my last client, I hired a super nice lady, and then I got a call from my client saying, "Hey, your contract is leaving. She's giving me her contact information. That if she wants me to keep using you, just call her like on the side."
Oh,
So yeah, so
that's
after
insulting your customers.
the client called me, and I had to fire her on the spot. And before that, I had a weekly client, same cleaner, that she was cleaning a weekly client every week, and she canceled after 2 appointments. So in my head, I'm like, I don't know, did she either do a bad job or did they like come into agreement on the side? Say, hey, I'll clean your house for a discounted price, just instead of going through a company, just pay me directly. So same cleaner. I got a the client called me this time, so I had to like let her go, let her know, hey, you can't be doing this. Like we signed an agreement. You can't be taking my clients. I pay a lot of money for these clients. So I had to let it go.
That's tough. Definitely the as you did it right having the non-poaching agreement.
Yeah.
I think every service business, no matter if it's home cleaning, pool cleaning, dog grooming, walking, whatever it may be, there always needs to be a non-poach agreement so it protects you because you do spend a lot of money
Yep.
on ads, on hiring, basically everything, and they're just going to come in and you know work for a little bit, show you that they're great, get more jobs, and then start poaching and get a 50% pay increase. Customers paying 50% less, everybody's happy except you because you got screwed out of the deal.
I actually read someone on Facebook. She mentioned that she on the contractor agreement, she mentioned like a five-figure fine, $10,000 fine. So if you get caught stealing clients, you'll be charged with a $10,000 fine. So as long as now what I do is like when I sign the contractor agreement, say, hey, this is what you're signing. If you get caught stealing clients, there's a $10,000 fine. That usually scares them to not even trying to go that route. And also to answer your question earlier, it wasn't a horror story, but one of my cleaners is a Ukrainian lady that came to San Diego like 7 months ago, and she cleans really well, but she has no car. So I was kind of short staffed sometimes, so I had to go out of my way to take her and back like multiple times a week. A headache, but she needed the money, um, and she cleaned well. No negative like complaints or anything. So I was like, you know what, I'll until she gets a car, I'll be the one taking her and back from the job sites.
I mean, that's amazing for you to help somebody out like that. It, I mean, again, it does go towards helping your business, but when you have a connection like that and you find a cleaner that, does so well, just has like, I wouldn't call it a stipulation, but a little setback with
Yeah.
not having a car, um, helping them get over that hump just builds the bond stronger with you and them. Um, and they're more likely to, even put more effort in and do a way better job and bring you in more customers because the customers they're cleaning for are so happy. Now they're going to start
Mhm.
referring their friends and specifically ask for that provider. So it's a snowball effect, and I love hearing when business owners like yourself take that initiative of not being afraid to step in and help out when there's a little bit of a tough situation there,
Mhm.
because you didn't have to do that. You could have been
Yeah.
like, you know what, here, I'll give you 10, 15 extra bucks for a cab or bus
Yeah.
fare or Uber or whatever, and let her figure it out on her own. But you didn't go that route, and it's very commendable for you. Um, so let's go a little bit towards marketing now. What are some of your marketing strategies and successful tactics? And what are some things that didn't work out so well for you?
I mean, the gold mine is LSA, Google LSA. Not a lot of people know about it. That's all you do in the beginning. That's the best way to market. I wouldn't focus on anything else. Just Google LSA. What I did, I'm still running at LSA now, but I tried multiple things. I tried Yelp ads, Nextdoor, um, Facebook ads. I had some issues with that, but Yelp was a waste of money. Nextdoor, I didn't find any success. I heard door hangers. I tried it, but I don't really try it. I tried a few times, but with LSA, it's so much easier. You just have a budget, and they're high quality leads that convert. They're ready to spend money. Um, Most of the other ones, they are very price sensitive. With LSA, they're ready to spend money. Um, I tried the door hangers. I passed out maybe 300, 400, which is not enough. I had a few calls, but I couldn't convert them. Next door, I tried that as well, but I didn't get no callbacks from next door. Facebook ads, I had some issues with my Facebook page, my business page, so didn't really get to run Facebook ads. And then I hired someone from Upwork to run my Google ads. There's Google LSA and Google ads. With Google ads, I found some success. So like my ideal way to market would be Google LSA and Google ads, combination of both.
And let's talk a little bit on Yelp, because Yelp for many years was the main source for service businesses.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's transitioned more so into Facebook ads and paid ads, and now everybody is on LSA or Google ads, and it seems like Yelp is now starting to take a nosedive in terms of at least paying,
Yeah.
uh, businesses paying. So, how many reviews did you have on your Yelp page when you started paying?
So I actually had like 5 or 6 reviews on Yelp, all 5 stars, and then all of a sudden they disappeared. So I scroll down and sees like it's not recommended. I guess that was software that if it thinks that your reviews are like asked for or like fake, they hide it. And these are reviews from like legit clients. So then I was like, whatever. I ignored it. I got more reviews, and every single one gets hidden. So it's kind of hard to run Yelp ads with no reviews. In the beginning, I had some success because I had the reviews, but then after like a few weeks or a few days, they were like all hidden. So now if I could post a review to my Yelp account, within days, it goes back to the section in the bottom where it says not recommended. So I have 28, 20, 22, 23 reviews on Yelp, all 5 stars, but they're all in the bottom. If you look at my account on Yelp, it says 0 reviews. And then if you scroll down, it says not recommended. I'm not really sure what it is. I try to call them customer service. They were no help. I emailed them. They said no. That's our software, and it thinks that these reviews are not. I guess it doesn't really meet the requirements. Even though they're from all clients, they have multiple reviews. They all have like a history of Yelp. Um, so yeah, I mean, I stopped on that. And I just focused on more on Google reviews and Google ads after that happened. Because it was, first of all, it's really hard getting reviews. So then after you bust your ass, get reviews and they hide it, it's kind of waste of time.
Right, absolutely. And were you doing any paid? You were paid ads with Yelp, or just
Yeah. So no. So once I got a few reviews on, they're all 5 stars. I started running Yelp ads. Um, had a smaller budget, but I had a few calls from Yelp. But then once the reviews went away, like no one actually thinks you're credible. So I like stopped getting any results.
did you lose those reviews before you stopped paying for ads, or were you still paying for ads and then those reviews went away?
I was still paying for ads, and then the reviews or the I was paying for ads, and I just didn't really get as much calls anymore because I mean it was kind of hard to do business when you have no reviews,
Absolutely.
especially on Yelp. I mean Yelp is a great. I mean I would say it's a great if you have good reviews on Yelp and there's solid reviews. I mean I go on Yelp all the time to find restaurants, to find a business, to see how well they are, if they're credible or not. If I had good reviews, I would still use Yelp, but I don't know why they keep hiding my reviews on there. So that's why I don't really pursue it anymore.
So now your main focus is just Google, LSA
Google, yes. Uh-huh.
ads.
Yes. So on Google, I have 70 5-star reviews.
Oh,
I have
wonderful.
one 4-star and one star.
So in 4 months, you're already at almost 75 reviews just on Google.
Yes. So I usually follow with my clients. I text them, see how the experience was. It's a little tedious because I have to do it manually. But now I'm actually working with some guy. He's trying to set everything up so it's automated. So for example, after the cleaning is done, they'll get a text or an email saying how well the service was between like it's like a happy face, a flat face, and like a frown. And if they choose the happy face, then it will take them to my Google review link. They can write a review, and then if it's a negative, they'll have like a box to write the feedback, and which will go to me.
Are you using the automatic SMS notifications and email notifications in Booking Koala?
So he is using Zapier. Um, I'm paying him to do it. I'm not really familiar with that, but I believe he's using Zapier.
Okay, and
Yeah.
he's connecting things.
I haven't used the marketing feature on Booking Koala yet.
So that's coming up soon.
Yeah, I looked into it. I just haven't really done it yet.
Okay.
I know you guys have great campaigns for SMS and marketing, email marketing, which I need to look into.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Because you could turn that. All you would have to do is just enable those notifications, and there's follow up notifications through SMS, email, for your customers, just like that, where it doesn't have to be connected anywhere else.
Okay.
And they would, you know, ask them for a review. It would review internally in the booking koala
Yep.
portal on your site, and then if you set it where it's, over 4 or 4.5 stars, you can now add your links for Google, Facebook, Yelp,
Oh,
anywhere you
okay.
collect
Okay.
reviews, and they could just literally hit the copy button, click the link, take it to the page, hit paste, and it's done.
Okay. I don't know you can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because right now
So
they get an email with the Booking Koala review. So if they leave a review to the email, it's automated. It'll go to the Booking Koala website instead of the Google website.
okay, so similar.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let's talk a little bit about competition in your area, your competitors. What makes you stand out from them?
I like to offer clients convenience. So if you go on the website within 60 seconds you can book an appointment. There's a lot of time slots available. I try to make sure I can fit the cleaners into the client schedule. So I offer convenience, high quality cleans, customer satisfaction. If something's not done right, you let me know, and I'll make sure I can send the cleaners back, a different cleaner, whatever it may be, to make sure the job gets done right. If not, then I offer refunds as well.
So, I mean, it's very similar to a lot of service businesses, home cleaning services. You said that you charge a premium price for your services. Are there any other individual, like individually owned services, not franchises, not big corporate, in your area that are doing
Uh,
online booking like yourself?
yeah, most of them are, and most of Twitter, I guess, too. I see a lot of people have a contact form. So when they go into the website, instead of booking online, they ask for their information. There's like so many questions, and then they'll submit their information. They won't see a price until someone calls them. And I feel like nowadays people want to see. I mean, there's a lot of different opinions, but I feel like nowadays people want convenience. They want to see an instant quote on the website within minutes. So if you go on my website and you type in the bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, boom, you'll get a price. And then if you scroll down, you can do add-ons. I have a lot of different add-ons. I also offer carpet washing, which is one of the reasons my revenue was kind of high last month. I bought the machine myself, so when they add carpet washing, I have to go and do it. Uh, I haven't, because my coaches don't have the machine yet, so I for now I just do it myself.
And how long does that usually take you? Are you doing rugs or full carpets or both?
I do both.
Okay.
Carpets, I do stairs, carpets, and rugs. I mean, I don't, maybe like one out of like seven move in move outs book it, and I charge 75 a room. I mean, if it's like a 3 4 bedroom house, that's a good amount of cash.
Absolutely. And how do you plan on expanding that where you don't have to go in anymore?
So I have to relay the information to the cleaner. Hey, if you want to make a little more money, because I'm kind of transitioning from the hourly pay to percentage. So what I tell the cleaners, hey, if you buy this machine, spend 300 bucks on it, I can give you better pay. I can give you 50% of the total cost, and some jobs I charge if it's like a deep clean or move in move out clean with carpet washing ends up being 900 bucks for like an average 3 bedroom house. So I was like, hey, this job can cost 900. You get half of that, 450. All you have to do is wash carpets. It takes 30 minutes per room. You buy soap. It's pretty cheap. So it's a no-brainer. I don't. None of my cleaners have it yet. So it's only my machine. I do it, but down the road, my goal is obviously to be hands off. I don't want to be washing carpets. So, but I mean, for now, it's a nice little revenue booster.
For sure.
And it goes all to me. So
For sure. And how big is the machine? Is it one of those commercial sized ones
I
or
bought the one. It's called the Go Green Bissell. I paid 400 for it. It's pretty heavy. It's like, yeah, it's like 4.5 feet, but it's like 30 pounds. So you have to carry it around.
Yeah, little bit of a weight to it.
It's yeah, but it has tires, so but it's still a hassle like, going up and down. Like when you park the car and go to the client's house, if they live in an apartment, you have to like walk like 50, 60 feet with a big machine.
And if they don't have an elevator and it's stairs, and
So far it hasn't happened to me yet.
that's good. That's
Probably
good.
cancel it.
So, I mean, you've been technically in business 6 months now because you registered in January. How much time have you spent in the beginning
Yeah.
versus how much time are you spending now?
So in the beginning, I was kind of taking my time, applying for LLC, take my time. There's like no rush to get started right away. After I started my ads on, I was on the phone. I picked, it was, I mean, my budget was pretty slim, so I didn't really get that many calls. And then, so I mean, and that was just my full time. I was doing this full time, so I had a lot of free time because I wasn't trading either. So I didn't work a job. I was really focused on trading. I was just doing this full time. So I was picking up the phone, trying to find ways to market, try different things. Um, I spent a good amount, but that's only because me. I just wanted to learn more. And then last month, I got a VA to do handle all the admin tasks. Because my goal is to build this into a cash flow business where I don't do anything. Right? I have a VA. She runs all the admin work. I have cleaners that do a good job. Um, like I want to be as hands off as I can, but I have to first get it to a point where I'm happy with the size, and it's not there yet. Once I get to that size, I hire VAs, and they just run the company for me, and then I can focus more on like different locations, and or other businesses.
And your VA is full time right now.
She is full time. Yeah, I actually had two, one to be on the weekends and one during the week. Because again, I want it to be hands off.
Right.
um,
And
but
what are they focusing on mainly?
so she does all the scheduling, all the phone calls, cold calling, cold emailing. Um, so far, that's that. And I gave her the social media, but I'm not. I mean, I have an Instagram account for my business, but she hasn't been really active on that. She's been focusing on the picking up the phone, and then talking to the cleaners, making sure they know where they're going, assigning jobs to the cleaners, then just calling property managers, calling real estate agents on our downtime, and then making sure we just do our cold outreach for the day.
And I don't believe I caught it. You're still handling hiring?
Yes, I do hiring, but still, even with the VA, I mean, I might be like micromanaging, but I can't help myself to like step away. Um, I because everything's recorded, all the phone calls are recorded. So I mean, when I first hired her, she's in the Philippines. Her name is Sam. Does a great job. But when I first hired her, like on the first week on the phone, I'm listening to the calls. And I hear like a rooster in the background. So I was like, hey, I cannot be having this. It's not professional.
All right.
And I mean, because in the Philippines it's pretty common. So I was like, get a better headset. So I had to buy her one, like the noise canceling. So I still hear it now, but it's not as bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
I don't know if the clients hear, but when I play the recordings, it's like roosters in the background.
they could say they live next to a farm or something.
But she does a good job. But still, I mean, it's like sometimes like when she's on the clock, and there's like a missed call. I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? I cannot be having missed calls because these are a paid. Let's say each call is like 35 bucks. So unless you're on break, or unless you're on the phone, like I expect the calls to be picked up.
And they seem like they don't miss calls much then.
Yeah. So sometimes it happens, but I had to like, hey, Sam, like can be happening. Like these calls are expensive, and especially if it's a missed call, I expect you to call them back right away. Or if it's like a message, let's say message lead, I expect to be like within 5 minutes, you have to call them back. Because if you don't, they shop around, they'll go somewhere else. So I try to be fast with the response time, either with a missed call or a message lead. Um, and again, if it's a VA versus like a business owner, I mean, being an employee versus like a business owner, kind of you don't try as hard as the business owner would. If that makes sense.
Yes, 100%. Is this your only business?
Yes, I do real estate part time on the side. Um, that's only family and friends, but I kind of want to get back into that and grow my real estate business as well. But for now, this is my full time business.
So I I guess if you expanded a little bit of your real estate outside of friends and family, you could potentially tie in your cleaning service now. Because then
Yes.
if you get people who are renting or,
Mhm.
buyers or sellers, you could always recommend your cleaning service. Is that a plan for you or
Yes. So right now, I mean, I'm trying to find a way to get leads for my cleaning clients. So because I know most of them, I mean, they move out or sell a house, they buy a new one. I'm yet still to figure out, like, how do I do that? How do I get real estate leads for my client leads for my cleaners? I'm trying to find the best way to go about that. Whether it's like emailing, texting, or just I don't know, getting to know them, just let them know, hey, I do real estate as well. So get that yet to I gotta figure out.
maybe start with putting it in an email signature or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
and they could see that. But where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years? The cleaning service.
Yeah. My goal is to make this automate everything and just scale it up. With this service, with any service business, like scaling is a nice part, especially when you have talent offshore for $5, $6 an hour. Um, the biggest thing is hiring cleaners. Once I get to, if I can find like 10, 15 good cleaners, the rest is easy. You just increase your budget, scale. So my goal, I mean, my goal for this month, last month was 21,000. This month, I stopped at ads for a bit because I had to hire some cleaners. I turned it back on yesterday, so I don't expect it to be that high. But by the end of the year, if I can get to $50,000 revenue, um, my net would be approximately 30%. And then I would look into like opening a different location, maybe north of San Diego, or like different part of California. But then I want to know whether to use the same name or do I start a whole new LLC that I'm not really familiar with.
That again, that would have to be a personal
Yeah.
decision and what your outlook for the business would be later down the line. Now, if you were looking to sell parts of it off, then I would suggest, new LLC. If you were going
Yeah.
into different states, like if you stayed in California, keep it as this one. Let's say you got into Texas, then you could start a new LLC there, and you could grow that. And in 2 years, if you wanted to sell that one, then you could just sell that one and still keep the California one. Or if you just want to make it one giant one, then you keep it as the same name. And in your locations inside Booking Koala, you are just going to now name it
Yep.
Austin, Texas, and have all the zip codes for Austin, Texas. And then you can have all your taxes and all your revenue, and everything is broken up per location. So, again, personal decision there. Do you want to run one giant company,
Yeah.
or do you kind of want to have like a holding company and then under that umbrella have every location be a different name?
Yes. So I mean, the reason I kind of want to keep it the same would be because I have. I mean, I don't know if that would change anything, but if I open a different location in Northern California, can I still use my Google business profile, which has all these reviews, to build credibility instead of freshening, or do I need to start again? So that I'm not really familiar with. Can I use my One Touch Cleaners business profile, which has 70 reviews? Like, what are the clients are going to see when they look up One Touch Cleaners in Sacramento or San Francisco?
That's a good question. I believe it would be a new one just
Okay,
because it would. But then again, if your phone number is all the same and your
same.
website is all the
Yeah.
same, then it could be. But now again, it's for local, so
Yeah.
it would have to. It's a toss up. You'd have to look into that a little bit more because I'm not. super familiar with it in that aspect because Google is always changing the way they do things, so it could be one way now, and it could be something different
Yeah.
later down the
And,
line.
and to answer your question earlier, my 5-year goal would be to transition from independent contractors to full-time employees and to have like an office somewhere in San Diego. Because I noticed on Google Maps I show up, but then on Apple Maps, unless you have like a storefront, they don't show your business. And I feel like that's another whole untapped market. People that use Apple Maps instead of Google Maps. So maybe getting like a nice little central location in like San Diego with like full-time employees, 5 or 6, um, and just transition from independent contracting to employees.
Definitely a lot to think about and
Yeah,
big changes to make, but seems like you're already, seeing how it'll be beneficial towards you and your business, which is great. A lot of people will look at it as, well, no, it's a risk, or I'm losing that. Everything's a risk at this point, There's risks with anything that you do, but the way
absolutely.
you're looking at it as like, okay, yeah, I'm Google Maps, I'm good because I'm coming up. Apple Maps, I'm losing X amount of business or, brand awareness. This will help me get to that, which is a huge thing for somebody who's been in the business 6 months. So definitely on the right track with that and doing great work. So you've been using the software since the beginning, correct? You
Yes,
haven't
right off the
tried
bat,
anything
book and
else.
cola. Mhm.
What I guess what drew you into using it and why?
Convenience. I that's the only one I knew. Then later down the road, I heard of like Jobber and some other ones. But booking calls, in the beginning, it might seem a little intimidating, but once you play around with it, you can do everything on there. You can build a website. There's templates you can use, pretty simple to use. Scheduling, paying your cleaners, marketing, SMS. I haven't really tapped into it yet, but I saw a few videos on it. You can literally do anything on there, and you can set reminders. You can set up email templates to send to your clients. Yeah, that's has everything you need. I don't see myself using anything else. And the price is 57 a month. I pay. Can't beat it.
It's beautiful to hear. I know everybody loves to hear when customers are like, I don't plan on leaving. And makes us feel good because we got to the point where we're at now where everybody feels like, it's all encompassing and the price is right for what you get. We're still not done. We're going to be always adding things. So definitely more and great things to come with features and functionality. And, a lot of people come and look and see like, oh, this is very, cleaning service, home cleaning service centric. But there are other industries that are super similar,
Hmm.
almost identical, where you can start a service business just as easily with the same thing. Um, so, with that being said, what's one feature that you've been using in the software that you can't live without?
One of the features that with Booking Koala is being able to. I like the pricing parameters, so you can adjust the pricing however you want it to be for move in, move outs, deep cleaning. You can change it based off the square feet, the number of bedrooms. The pricing form is really nice. You can, if you want to build your own website, you can also take that with you. The scheduling as well, just being able to see who's available during that day, so you can assign to them to the jobs.
Now, for the scheduling feature, which way do you have it set up? Because there's a couple ways. Is it accepted automatically? Is it, does it get sent accept decline to the cleaners, or are you putting them on a wait list and then seeing?
So I don't know if I do that right. Usually, so I had a priority. So I had a list of my providers, and it was in set priorities. So which one I wanted to get it first. So when I had a job in the unassigned folder, I thought it would be like it would go to her first, and if she doesn't respond in an hour, it'll go to the second one. But I noticed that sometimes it just stays unassigned. So I now what I do now, I manually see who's available. during that day, I assign to them.
It could have been that they were probably taken. All those cleaners were taken during that
Yeah,
same time,
maybe.
and that's why it kind of just stayed put there. Um, so more than likely, that's what was going on there. Now, sticking with the features, what's one feature that we don't have that you wish we did?
I mean, you mentioned the email and SMS marketing. I do. Now that I know you have it, I have to look into it a little more. One of the features that I see that would be needed to be done. Um, I'm having issues with the payments. Like when I pay my providers, sometimes like even though I have money in the Stripe balance, I get an error. So I have to go use Venmo or Zelle to make that payment.
Okay, so why don't you send an email over to our support
Okay.
with a detailed explanation, whether it's Loom or whatever screen share software you use? Just give a little bit of the detail in there, send it over, and they will be able to go into your account and check it out and see what's going on.
Okay.
So, I guess final question here. What are going to be some words of encouragement to anybody who's watching this interview thinking about starting a service business, or why don't you think about yourself, you know, a year ago and what you would have said to yourself then?
With any business, just do it. Get your feet in the water. Don't be afraid. Just start. Just open that LLC, open that website. Once you get the ball rolling, it'll get easier. I mean, the beginning, the hardest thing is to make a decision to whether to start it or not. Sometimes with bigger businesses, you're afraid to take that leap. But with smaller, low risk businesses, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? The best case scenario, you're making $50,000 revenue every month, and it's possible. There's people doing it. There's people on Twitter that do it within 5 6 months. So this is something you can build down the road, automate everything, have a VA run it for you. So it's very it can be very hands off and very rewarding. So my advice would be just do it. Don't think about it too much. Just open that LLC, build that website, do the booking koala. Just low risk, high reward.
And like you said, Twitter community, we have our
There's
Facebook booking koala
yeah,
community. There's thousands of people in there. Um, I mean, there's so many mentors on Twitter that are giving out information for
for
free.
free. Yep.
There are paid ones, but you could just follow a bunch of Twitter threads and learn how to do this step by step within a couple days. And then if you needed more information, you could buy a course. But
Yes. Yep.
a lot of the information out there is already out there on either Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook for free, and you could get started right away.
That's why I started. So on Twitter, Jordan, forgot his last name. He literally goes step by step for free on Twitter on his tweets. If you scroll back, I believe like in September is when I read it. He goes day one, day two, day three, like tells you exactly what to do. So you have no reason not to start a business. If you have a 9 to 5, you can build this on the side. It doesn't take that much of your time. Um, Hire a VA; they can do everything for you. Just get started. He literally goes up to day like 90 or 100. Every day there's an update. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I opened the LLC. I opened my business account. This is how I hire. He literally tells you how to hire. The checklist that he uses. So there's like no reason for you not to start because there's literally a guide on how to do every single item step by step.
Excellent. Rue, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure meeting you and going over your experience and your business. We wish you all the best at Booking Koala, and we'll be checking in with you next year to see how everything's going.
Perfect. Thanks. Pleasure being here.
All
All
right,
right.
take care.
Bye.